Welcome to Switched On Schoolhouse 20th Century American History. In this half-credit high school history elective, your students will study recent American history with units that cover topics like coming of age, boom to bust, World War II and the Cold War, and much more. Many Alpha Omega homeschool courses include semester reviews and examinations. The review lesson provides a focused review of lesson content, helping to prepare students for semester and final exams. Alternate semester and final exams are also available. Now let's take a look at a 20th century American history lesson to see how topics like these are covered. In a unit entitled Coming of Age, let's look at a lesson called The American Workforce. Most lessons begin with a brief introduction and a list of goals or objectives for the lesson. These objectives help students stay focused on important lesson content and provide parents with an effective way to measure mastery of lesson content. The objectives for this lesson are analyze factory life and how laborers responded to poor working conditions. Examine the causes and consequences of child labor. And describe the response of employers and government to labor strife. Most lessons begin with a brief introduction and a list of vocabulary words that will be used throughout the lesson. We've included review and reinforcement activities to encourage mastery of these important words. For example, students can hear the correct pronunciation of each word.
Sweatshops, piecework.
A vocabulary games arcade provides additional practice designed to help students to learn the spelling and definitions for the vocabulary from the lesson. Let's take a look at one of the games. Flashcards provides a fun way for students to review the definitions for the vocabulary words. Here's a sample. After this introductory material, your students move independently through the lesson, reading the text-based instruction, and then working through the review questions at the end of the lesson. Alpha Omega computer-based lessons are filled with text-based instruction, interspersed with colorful photographs, illustrations, maps, and diagrams that are all designed to assist students in mastering lesson content. Several helpful tools have been included in Alpha Omega homeschool courses to enhance your students' learning environment and to promote greater understanding for students with a variety of learning styles. Auditory learners may benefit from hearing text read aloud as they follow along. Students select a portion of text and utilize the text-to-speech tool to read the text. A number of customization options allow students to personalize their use of the text-to-speech feature. A highlighting feature allows students to use highlighter colors to highlight important text in the lesson as they study. Highlighted portions are saved when a student leaves the lesson, making it possible for them to come back later to study the highlighted passages. In some lessons, students are given the opportunity to review and reinforce what they've learned with fun games like Farmer Frank and All Right. Let's look at this example. At the end of the lesson, your student is presented with a series of questions that provide a review of lesson content. If the lesson contains multiple sections, after completing section 1, the student continues to the next section, reading the text-based instruction and answering the remaining questions. Questions are presented in a variety of formats. Answers are automatically saved as the student works through the questions, with 85 to 90% of student work being graded immediately by the program. A student is given the opportunity to reattempt questions that were answered incorrectly the first time through the lesson. The lesson is complete when the student has answered all questions correctly or has exhausted his allowed attempts.